Okay, what were you saying here?
When you walk in the country,
porcupines.
when you walked in a country road or drove in a one-lane country road, and if you got out of the car, you always looked up into the trees to make sure there was no porcupine up there. Because if they felt threatened, they did one thing and they did it well. They could throw those quills at you for a certain distance.
They could. Yeah.
They didn't wait till you come up to them and then just sit in time. They could fling the tail, the quills would come up. I know, I never knew how far. I didn't want to know, but we were told, you give a wide berth to that slow, ponderous creature, that walking pincushion, because it could be lethal.
Yeah.
You could lose your eyesight. It wasn't to be ignored. You didn't play it down. Absolutely no. They owned the nature, the wild.
What was this you were saying about in a tree?
So if you went up above a tree and you threatened it, and it knew you were there and you didn't, it could fling those quills at you. So it's part of your job to check them out. That's what we were told. And of course we just gave it a wide berth. But you always looked up. And they could be quite low in the tree too.
You know,
survival in the country was, when we're talking about animals in Nova Scotia, porcupines are at the top of the list.
For you guys.
Yeah, not foxes, right? Foxes would attack the hen house. I remember my grandfather back in the day talking about how smart they were.
Yeah.
And you had to outfox the fox.
Yeah.
They were pretty, and if they ever got in the hen house, the population was done.
Yeah.
Right? They were greedy. They didn't just kill one chicken, they take them all. What the hell, why not? We're there anyway, right? I remember those stories being told.
Yeah.
From that viewpoint. But the chickens were done, the pigs were done in my time.
Was the pig barn still there? Was it still up? How many buildings were on the farm when you were a kid?
There was the chicken coop.
Where was that?
That was in front.
In relation to the house.
You keep that fair distance away.
I know
they have an aroma to it. You don't want to enjoy that. So that was quite a ways away. And then the outhouse was in front of that.
And that was empty then by the time you were a kid.
It became a storage place.
It was just.
It had no odor. That was done.
No, that was.
And that's where I noticed it had a hand poured cement floor at that time.
Yeah.
And then behind the house there was the woodshed, one of the woodsheds.
One of the woodsheds.
Right, and that was where you had the wood wasn't touching. And then there was the barn, a huge barn. It was quite large, 3 stories high.
That's for milking the cows, keeping the
cows were kept there. The hay was kept there. The horse was kept there. He was separate. The horse was separate from the cows, and there was a workshop. And the horse walked through the workshop into the back where it was held. And then it had a big container for the oats. And you could snap it around the horse's head and you could eat the oats out of that. And then on the very end of that, the separate building that my grandfather made was the garage. And the garage, you know the material you use for roofing, the rolled roofing? Mm-hmm. The whole garage was made like that, all rolled roofing. It was a pleasant in-between green color. And it had 2 huge doors with a hook as long as this table to hold the doors open, because in Nova Scotia had the wind everywhere, so everything had to be secured like on a ship. You couldn't just open the doors, forget it. If you stuck the tail light out, the door come crashing and take the tail light right off the truck. So you had to engage the hooks. I have pictures of that too, dead in the slide.
So you had to be careful then with the wind to catch a door.
Yeah, it was brutal.
Just
any door. You had to
tear the door off.
Yeah, or you had to make sure it was secure, so if it got at it, it couldn't rip it off. The hinges were substantial. Everything was made substantial because of that damn wind.
So that must have made for some creepy nights, stormy nights when the wind was howling and the house was shaking and from the wind.
But that was everywhere. That was in town, no different than on the farm.
That's what I'm saying. It must have been.
And the last building would have been the blacksmith shop, and that was down in near the swamp, because nobody likes the smell of coal when you're hooking up and heating your metal.
So your grandfather was a blacksmith too?
Yeah, he did blacksmithing. I don't know, he was a black for his own use, as far as I know, right? Yeah. And we were intrigued if he went down there and lit the fire up, like the wagon wheel tires. He would bend them and heat them and do repairs down there, many different things where you have made the metal red hot. He would make the PVs. He didn't buy them. He made them on his own. Out of scrap metal.
So, do you remember people coming to the farm to get stuff repaired?
No.
No?
No. But then don't forget we would go mainly on Sunday, which is my grandfather's day off. You didn't usually go through the week or Saturdays. He'd get up in the morning at 5:30, 6 o'clock. Then we'd go out to do his chores in the barn, then come in and have breakfast, then go back out. And then at night you had to bring the cattle in, then you had to milk them. And then of course, once a week or whatever it was, I don't know, you made the butter, you ran the run. That was on a Saturday. Or you did the market garden run. The spinach was a big crop. Lots of spinach and Swiss chard. And there were pole beans, and there were peas and wax beans, and squash and cucumber. And
wow.
A huge variety of.
And he took these where into?
He put them in the old F-148, what I'm pretty sure is a 48 Ford.
Okay.
And they had boxes, and they all sat in the back. And he knew what certain people wanted and what they had, right? Swiss chard and spinach were big sellers. So he had good ones. And it's all organic by default, right?
Yeah.
Lots of cow manure and horse manure in there. All done naturally with all of that. And there were carrots. I don't remember any, and there was squash. Did I mention squash?
Yeah.
That's
so he'd take that into the market?
Yeah, that would go down to Chezzetcook way.
At Chezzetcook?
Yeah, and then he had some back roads in Chezzetcook, and I'm going to guess about 30 people, but that's just a guess on my part for customers, for his scale of operation, right?
So he sold directly to them, or
direct to the public? Direct. No stores, nothing like that. Right?
Yeah, or I was just wondering if he sold to some other vendors.
No.
So he had his clients. So.
Okay, but part of what goes on in the country that a lot of people didn't realize is that you were the bank. And if people didn't have money and they couldn't pay the food, you delivered it, you sent it out, then you got your money later.
Yeah,
and some people took a year to get it, but then you were guaranteed their business and they owed you and you owed them. But you would never see anybody starve. And nobody took advantage of it. Or if they did, then they did get cut off. They got shunned by the community for going against the ethical culture that they created around themselves, right? And turning in a pop can, there's no pop can, but pop bottles or whatever, at a penny a piece, people would walk. And we did as kids, and we would walk all along the highway and go into the ditches. And there was money to be found there. There were chocolate bars there, Ted, if you got enough. And there were bubble gum.
I remember that.
Then you go to Bob's garage and you would cash it in. See? It took a lot of bottles to get a bottle of pop.
Yeah.
But it was people throw it out of their cars all the time. Those city slickers driving by there. Yeah, thank God for city slickers. And I told you before that we used to sell the blueberries. We picked them all up in the swamp area and pick wild blueberries up and then put them all. And you had to be careful. You had to make sure that you don't do no cheating. Because if you cheated and put a lot of green blueberries in there, they only buy them once. So you made sure you got the nice, juicy, fat ones. And they knew you and knew you had the best, they'd always stop. And there were certain people we'd go out and they'd stop right away. And I think it was like 20 cents for a basket or 10 cents. I don't remember the amount, right? Those little wooden baskets.
So you picked blueberries and sold them?
Yeah, my cousin Billy and I, we would go down and pick blueberries and sell them up the side of the highway. They were ours to do with as we pleased. And they were wild blueberries. Nova Scotia is famous for blueberries.
So you were making money off of that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you were making money off of waxing cars for the ladies who were playing bridge with your mother.
Yes.
And you're making money off of the blueberries. So your grandfather must have shined upon you.
The apple didn't fall that far from
the tree.
My father wasn't like that, but I was definitely had that entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah.
Anybody who needed help and wanted their fence painted or wanted somebody extra, if they needed a walking labor, I was called up and I was happy to go anytime.
Wow.
Anytime. I love that. Help people put fences up and work on the car and polish and all those different things.